Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Let's see. Hi. What? I turn this on again? It should be okay. Alright. I'm about to start with this. Last time, if you saw my last stream, I drew this. As you can see there. Had fun drawing this one. That's decent enough drawing. I have an idea for this one. We'll see how it turns out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it work. I also, please feel free to let me know if you can hear me. That'd be great. I also was looking for a way to actually, like, maybe that's a little bit better, so I can like show. Yeah, that should be alright, I think. Yeah. Let's grab this. This is the first time you guys join my stream. Remember, I can see you. And alright, I wonder. I have many questions. Where's the? I'm missing one marker. Where is the other shader? Well, it's a brush marker, but I'm missing other. There it is. There you are. There you are. Thank you. I'll see if I can make this work. Still on the fence about it, but I'm trying to keep it on an angle that allows me to draw comfortably. There you go. I just use this one too. Intending. What? Hello, everybody. I actually prefer this kind of light for this. This is better to draw. The other one kind of gives it this weird look that I don't like that much. I set this away. I have to make my setup better. Really need to. I've been trying to, but still stuck with this camera. Uh, so I have this camera where you can see me, and this other one that shows you the drawing. That one I thought it was better, and it's it's been a pain to say the least. Um, yeah, would not recommend. I don't wanna call out the brand, but yeah, I'm not satisfied. I tell you that. I can tell you that. Actually, maybe if I have, I don't have one of those here. I don't know where they are. Well, I may have to hold it like this. No, it's terrible. Darn it! I'm going to have to stick to the other setup, unless, let's see. I have an idea. Unless, let me move you over here, get you out of the way so you're not. Yes. One thing everybody should always remember is the principle of keep it simple, stupid. That's really important. Maybe better that way. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what we're doing. Yeah. Change my way. Fudge. Missing one. Where are you, you freaking marker? Here. Okay. Minutes to set up. Anyway, I'm trying something new, you guys. Be patient, please. So, and I need to put this on camera mode so I can actually have something to freaking put out after. I don't know. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. So maybe a better setup. Wait. That's a little bit better, I think. Okay. Alright. Hello. Oh, it's not activated? What is going on? Why is this not activated? Oh, I know what's going on. I'm sorry. This is on me. Mm, yeah. Uh-huh. If you've been writing something and I haven't answered, um, well, I I didn't notice and I didn't activate the chat feature, or however you want to call it. Uh, yeah. Alright, so now I'm starting to. Oh my goodness. I don't like this one bit, but it is what I have to do. Okay. Okay. So if I didn't answer before, uh, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you all. Sorry for that. That was on me. I didn't activate the like I thought it would work immediately, but it doesn't. Sorry about that. to exaggerate it. The proportion is wrong, but how much I can do right now. Oh, you're gonna see. um, I've drawn this character before. Trying to figure out how I want to do this. So it should be like that. Hmm. So that's her weapon. Really Mad Max meets Blade Runner meets I don't know, whatever you want to call this. Futuristic. Um, well, the idea for this character is that a lot of people in this world are kind of scavengers and survivors. So she keeps that as protection, but in the story that I made or thought about at first, she was defending herself from a rogue AI. Isn't that fitting with the current times? a terrible leg. I made a terrible mistake. Yeah, she's out of proportions. Yeah, I was making it so that it would be like a like imagine robotic ants or something like that along those lines, like hive type of creatures that they. And I think I've mentioned this, but because the world is all contaminated, if you wanna like just go out and do things, unless you have like implants like this character has, you would basically uh, end your subscription to existence, if it makes sense. So she has like breathing implants and a bunch of other stuff. Uh, it's kind of out of proportions. Anyway, the post is not very interesting. Like her feet should be. Anyway. And she has kind of this bionic eye too. It gives her kind of an advantage. Of course, it stopped freaking filming. Oh my god. I just ask myself, how much did it film? Did it film enough? Yeah, well, that's good enough, I guess. That's good for what I need right now. I'm good with that for videos. It has a name actually, which it doesn't make sense to write it like this. I think it's this one. I don't remember the number. Uh, All beat up. This feels really 90s type deal. She actually has a dog too, but kind of complicated to to draw the dog. I could try. Oh, my, my baby woke up. Oh my god. Hi, how are you? Thank you. Appreciate it. All good. All things considered. How about you? It's wrong. Oh, that I made a mistake here. It's going to make mistakes if you're doing this nonsense. Trying to make drawings like this. If I lose connection. That's better. Mm, I like the paw that I made. That's what I was able to make. This is a character I made. Like from this dystopian world. Well, I have a bunch of those, so I'm I'm hoping to make this into or a short film or a comic, maybe a web comic. To have to figure out a bunch of stuff. Where I can put the background. Yeah, it would be kind of cool. Um, if I make a short film, I would probably add it to my YouTube. If I make it into a comic, uh, maybe I don't know. I was thinking of adding it to webtoons. I think that's where a lot of people post their work. But I would have to look up certain things about it that I'm not familiar with. But there's some really famous people that create there. I've made copies of like my illustrated deck of cards that I sell on my website, but yeah, that takes investment up front unless you are able to get like access to Kickstarter or something along those lines. So I might have to do it as a web comic if I decide to do that. I think I should first focus on the story and oh yeah, this doesn't matter the project. It's a lot of work. Um, my deck of cards, I don't know, took like a year or something. At the very least, it took 6 months, and I'm pretty sure it took more than that because I was working on it while working on other stuff. And yeah, I kind of devoted myself for a while to finishing that project. Um, it's definitely not easy to create um, stuff. And now with AI, it's it's even more discouraging than it used to be, uh, because now a bunch of companies think that they can just use your stuff anyhow, which makes this story kind of fitting. Yeah, I've had this project for a while. It's just, unless you're like rich, super rich, the idea of working on your own projects is like you can do it on the side basically, but not full time a lot of the time. So yeah. Hmm. Well, I guess you can read it there. I cannot read it out loud, but no, I'm Venezuelan. Like that's my deck of cards. That's where I'm from, and I'm currently in Argentina. wonder if I want to add something else to this. It could be everything I needed, really. Yeah, I do. Not always. It depends. It really depends. Yeah, the thing is that the perspective is not like the angle. Like, let's say this is, well, actually the camera would be like that as a side view. Uh, this is her. Let's say just go with me. This is the dog. This is whatever this car is. So the angle wouldn't wouldn't fit. So I was thinking of just leaving it like that, or because I don't know, maybe she's like scavenging a city or something. Uh, I don't wanna spoil part of the story, but as I said, they're scavengers. A lot of the people on this dystopia. So maybe what I could add is like a dust. Like I, I use that a lot. A dust cloud. I like dust clouds. That's a nice touch. Helps framing. It can be whatever. And you can see some stuff in the background. Uh, I wonder if. Let's see. Well, actually, it's not that bad. Just the the height is a little exaggerated. Thank you. Glad you like it. Um, I know it could be better, uh, but yeah. Wonder if I want to get into. Well, I guess I can talk a little bit about shading. Where's the other one? Come on, where are you? Where are you, freaking marker? There you are. Yeah, actually, a lot of the times that's the case. It's fairly common for me to mess up. Well, to mess up a drawing if I start adding too much. Uh, as I said before, like keep it simple, stupid. That's a good rule of thumb. it's really easy to start over complicating things when it comes to ideas, and oftentimes they can work just fine by just leaving them alone. Like, oh, you got to this point, just flow with it. Don't try to. When you start forcing the idea, like, oh, maybe I could add this and that, and it can go array. So finding that balance is not always easy. It really isn't. And I know that I've made that mistake. Like, oftentimes I look at a drawing that I did some time ago and like, this is freaking awful. I don't like it at all. Oh, I want to add a small detail. Because why not? My signature capybara. Well, you just have to keep practicing. Like I haven't seen what you do, so I I don't know, but oftentimes practicing helps you um, get better at certain things. I For a while I was trying to get better at drawing uh, women and portraits. So I started just drawing that over and over and over, uh, so I could get kind of that um, mileage and get accustomed to it. Um, because the proportions are different, and oftentimes we kind of it's easy to doubt ourselves when it comes to drawing. So that's one of the reasons why I try to do this drawings with ink first off, because um, it's a skill that I like having. Second off, it's a good practice. Like, it gives you you have to make everything you put on the page count. If you don't, well, like, you get something like this. I don't like this paw or this right here. So you have to kind of manage really well where everything is going to add up. And uh, what I notice is that you start kind of seeing the drawing before you actually do it. Well, at least I try to do the best I can to make decent work. I've been also trying to kind of get out of a creative rut that I'm in, so that's why I'm also doing this. Trying to find my groove, so to speak. Thank you, appreciate it. Some sometimes it doesn't feel like like that. Um, I think also part of the thing is that thank you, appreciate it. Um, said you get caught up in the fact that I heard an artist talk about this, that you're kind of climbing your skill. Uh, let's say like he was talking about concept art, which is something I'm really fond of. But he was saying that, let's say that this is you when you start your career. This is Mount Everest of skill, and along along your lifetime you start to develop skills and so on and so forth. Maybe you can get like to here, let's say, in skill level, but there's some people that are like, give me a second, this freaking thing started to push me out of the stream. There you go, that should be fine. Okay, so there's some people there from the get-go, they're like here, they're like here in terms of the skill level. Originalmente de Venezuela, pero vivo en Argentina. So yeah, I speak Spanish and English. Um, anyway, so I lost kind of the train of thought. My point is that it's often easy to kind of get caught up in which point you are at, because it's not only your skill level as an artist, it's also like how good are you at communicating your ideas, how good are you working with a team, with a director, that sort of thing. So it's not, the game is not only your skill level in and of itself, unless you like dedicate yourself to just work on your own and just create art, uh, quote unquote. And I've been leaning more towards that, but the reality is that for quite some time I was pursuing concept art. Um, I would like to say that I still am, but I don't know if that is still possible. Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. There's a lot of factors that play into an artist's success, and it's sometimes a challenge to keep yourself grounded and kind of, especially if you're like in my case, I'm not, for example, I'm not monetized on YouTube. I'm not monetized in any platform. Well, I guess in Facebook I am, but I don't know what's going on with Facebook. There's very little reach, and so that's discouraging. My point is that when you're starting out, and you're like here, and you put a lot of effort, and you're like here, but you see that there's this whole mountain system that you have to be able to reach, it can be discouraging at times. Having said that, um, kind of uh, keeping yourself connected to what you want to do and what you enjoy doing, I think it's also really important, because at the end of the day, we're all going to the same place. Uh, um, so the other thing is, I don't know if I mentioned this on my live stream recently, but yeah, I don't remember. um, but I tried to stop drawing and creating. I was like, you know what? Forget about this. I'm going to do something else. And I also, during that time, I was like, okay, I'm freaking miserable. Like, this is horrendous. So I was like, okay, I need to add this to my life. Otherwise, I'm going to be super miserable uh, for the rest of my life. So I was like, I cannot step away from it. Like, I have to be creating stuff, whether it be something that brings me money and pays the bills. That's a different conversation. But the like I do have the need to be creating at whatever level I'm capable of. Thank you, appreciate it. Well, you can find a bunch of my stuff on my website. Um, I have like phone backgrounds. I have a Redbubble shop. I have my deck of cards. Well, I really appreciate it. Um, you don't have to though. Um, like, a great way to help me out is subscribing and hitting that like. So yeah, maybe I'll be able to get monetized on YouTube at some point. Actually, one I wasn't expecting this, and it drives me crazy that this is the case. But I think they got me with that. There's I recently there started popping up a bunch of videos about this Yeti blogging. I was like, damn it! The idea is really good, but the thing is, they cannot copyright that. Like, anybody can create that with the current AI. I was like, darn it! I don't like AI, but that idea is it's really good. Um, and it's also super funny. I like the I like Yetis and Bigfoot. Like, I don't know. It depends on how young you are, but I don't know if you saw at some point. I don't know how many years ago that was, but there was this show called Harry and the Hendersons. Are you okay, buddy? Also, my dog has a skin issue. I think he has allergies. Well, that blog thing reminded me of that. That show was very funny. But he didn't. The In that show he didn't speak. He was just like he would make noises and grunts, and that was as much as he would uh, kind of speak, sort of say. But he was really he would like his body language was the thing that would communicate. It was really funny, and the animatronics were freaking amazing. Kind of reminded me of what they did now with, yeah. Well, I got really familiar to with how they made that because I'm a I'm a huge nerd, so I I saw a bunch of shows about how they made visual effects and animatronics. See ya. See you tomorrow. Thanks for joining. Oh, 1 hour 13 minutes. I already passed the hour. So I'll be ending the stream soon. I usually go for around an hour. That's kind of my limit because I need to rest, really. Yeah, it can be discouraging at times because, well, if it works in your favor, for sure, and oftentimes it does, but oh yeah, well, I'm a super curious person. No worries. I often say the wrong thing in English because it's not my main language. Dun dun dun. I think I have like conflicting lights here, but I mentioned that when you're shading, you have to think of the direction of the light. So in this case, let's say it's going this way, so everything this way would be in light, and the opposite side would be in shadow. That's fairly simple. Well, that happens. That also happens. What part of England are you from? East Midlands. Well, I will have to look that up because I have no clue where that is. Nottingham? Oh, I've heard of Nottingham for sure. Yeah. Is it? I now that you mention all that, I'm curious. The tree that they cut that was like super old, was that in Nottingham? Like they persecuted uh, a couple guys. They figured out who it was that took down the tree. It's like, come on, man, what you doing? Poor tree. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I really don't know where that was. Um, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, for sure. But it was like you would remember because it's like it was like a historical. It has historical significance. It was like maybe 300, 400 years old or something, and I it reminded me of Nottingham because there's a scene on one of the movies about Robin Hood that they're crossing this rock um, like fence, and there was this huge tree. So that reminded me, like, where the tree that they cut down reminded me of that. Maybe it's a different place. I don't really know, but it really reminded me of that. You okay, buddy? Yeah, I have to look it up. Um, I think that my dog is kind of having a hard time. And we had to put a cone on him, and he hates it. Poor dog. I don't like putting that thing on him, but he starts like biting himself and like messes up his skin. And well, there's not much we can do about that. And of course, I forgot about this. Okay, that's good. Cool. Alright. I think I'm happy with how this is right now. I might shade it more after. Don't know for sure. Um, Hadrian Wall Spot. Oh, okay. So is that in England or is it like Scotland or something like that? I'll look it up once I finish this. Um. Oh, it's England. Okay, makes sense. Um. Well, that's something I thought it was in Nottingham. I was obviously wrong. Anyhow, thank you for watching. I'll be ending the stream, so hope to see you next time. I go live Monday through Thursdays, and yeah, you can find my illustrated deck of cards on my website. I have a Redbubble shop, as I mentioned. I have phone backgrounds on my site. Yeah, like yours. Likewise, rather. Sorry. Um. Anyhow, thank you for watching. Let me see if I can find my music. There you go. All right. Until next time. Bye. See ya.